So I'm going to talk about my top 5. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me kind of get this back. All right, awesome. So my top 5, like the first one is going to be AVAX, right? Like we mentioned a little bit earlier, AVAX had their like Luna Foundation just announced that they're going to buy $100 million in AVAX. And if you remember, now this is obviously short term. This is not why I like AVAX. When Luna did this with Bitcoin, like a week later it pumped, right? So I do think there's still money to be made in AVAX. Like a 2-3x from here within the next 6 to 12 months, I don't think is without the realm of possibility. But why I like AVAX, right, is like when you look at the difference between AVAX and Ethereum. Now, Ethereum, I think, is going to be like the queen of crypto for a very long time, right? And it's not because it is the slowest layer one. It does 15 transactions per second. Something like AVAX does thousands. Something like Solana does even more. It can do almost 50,000 theoretically. But the point is, like, when you talk about the differences, like Ethereum does everything on one layer, settlement, exchange, everything on one layer. Where AVAX does things a little bit differently. They have like 3 different chains or components of AVAX, and that means like there's less congestion. That means fees are going to be low. That means scalability is a lot more easier, right? So in terms of AVAX, you've got the X chain, and that acts like a decentralized platform for creating tokenized smart assets, right? So that doesn't affect the rest of the chain. Then you have the platform chain. Now, the platform chain, the one big thing about AVAX are its subnets. The subnets allows you to create your own sort of like networks, utilizing the network effect of AVAX. I've spoken about this in the past, but now we're actually seeing real utility and examples. So DeFi Kingdoms is a game that just launched on AVAX, and the total activity recently was higher than Ethereum. So these actual custom chains, these subnet chains, is a huge win for AVAX, and they rolled it out without a hitch, and it worked really well. And then you've got the C chain, right? So that's the EVM layer where you can run Ethereum-based, protocols there. Now, in terms of DeFi Llama, when you look at the growth potential, AVAX is still above. It's sitting 4, and there's $10 billion locked in. And it's actually it's like 40% or so more than Solana, even though Solana's market cap is higher than Avalanche. Now, total value locked is not the only thing that dictates where the market cap is, but it just tells you that the TVL, the market cap by total value locked ratio, is half of Solana's. So in terms of quality and what you can get bang for buck, really good. The next one I want to talk about is NEAR, right? So what is NEAR? NEAR is pretty much what Ethereum 2 wants to grow up to be. That's what NEAR is. It already has sharding. It already has fast, proof of stake, it's proof of stake network. It's literally what Ethereum wants to be, and it's already here, right? And I think the market right now is seeing like how good NEAR is and just the potential of it. And in terms of team as well, we spoke about this before. Ahmed, you always look at team. It's got engineers from Microsoft, engineers from Google. It's very user friendly. So me as a marketer by trade, I always look at what's user friendly and going to take up adoption. So by default, if I want to send something to you, Ahmed, from my Ethereum wallet to your Ethereum wallet, I have to send it to 0x . With NEAR, I could have mobysadiq.near sent to ahmedjawa.near, right? So things like that. I mentioned in the past, they have almost $1 billion development fund, $800 million. And they also have Octopus. So this is kind of, I'm going to kind of cheat, do a little bit what you did. This is like my 2B, so I had 1, so 2B. Now, this is a low cap, and we've mentioned this in the past. I've shared slides. If you want to go search for Octopus Network on the MRHB channel, there's a whole episode or video on that. But really what it is, it allows you to create app chains, right? It's almost kind of like a Polkadot, but almost like a more efficient version of Polkadot. And that leverages the NEAR blockchain, and it's got some great backers. Like we mentioned, who do we got here? We've got Continue Capital, Electric Capital. There's a lot of big development funds there. And right now, funnily enough, last time we did this episode, it was $3.20, and the market cap was $230 million. It's kind of half that right now. It's like 140 or 120 million dollars or whatever it is. So I would still consider that a low market cap. And when you look at the potential, when you look at something like DOT and Atom, which Octopus is equatable to, there is a huge growth potential there. So that's kind of like my 2B. My next one, my third one is Metis. So leveraging off, Metis is kind of like riding on the coattails, the cape of Ethereum, right? So Metis is a layer 2 rollup that is helping solve Ethereum's a high gas problem. Now, in terms of like, you look at all the layer 2s, so layer 2s will sit on top of Ethereum layer 1. It's got one of the cheapest transaction costs, 32 cents. In terms of like total value locked, it's more than Polygon Hermes, so I would kind of almost ignore that one. When you look at the ranking of the layer 2s, Metis, it has dropped a little bit, but it's still sitting at 4th right now, above Loopring, above ZK Sync, and all of these ones have been around for much, much longer than Metis. So Metis right now, it's taken a little bit of a hammering of late. The price is under $100 right now. There's been some sort of issues with middle level management, and I know there's a token unlock, but fundamentally nothing has changed. It's very, very sound. They have a Chainlink and Aave integration coming up, and still, really, honestly, again, if you watched this episode before or this show before, we've spoken about the fact that Vitalik's mum is like the CEO of that. So you're not gonna say no to mum, right? So finally, my fourth one is Rose. I don't need to share my screen now. Rose Protocol. I think it solves that big problem of privacy, something that maybe people hadn't thought about, but Rose was investing in for a very, very, very long time. So similar one to you, Ahmed. And man, I can't believe you didn't put this on your list. Merhaba, the Merhaba token. You know what I mean?
I thought it was kind of a given.
Come on, man.
Given.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of a given,
cool.
Right?
Cool. But I'm putting that as my.
The logo's up here, right? The logo's up here somewhere. So it's like it's kind of a given. So,
it's kind of a given. I'm being cheeky. But like in terms of Merhaba, obviously solving a problem that no one else is solving, built on a solid chain, very, very, very strong team. The liquidity harvester alone is a feature that is going to propel Merhaba from a bit of a community, coin is something that Muslims use to honestly the mainstream. The ability to have passive. It's kind of like we had strong nodes, and like nodes had a big thing the last couple of months, and they kind of dipped. Everyone's looking for these passive income. The reason is people are looking for passive income. They're looking for ways just to make I just want to put my crypto in, and I want it to do something, and I want it to come back. The difference is liquidity harvester is actually going to be halal, right? So that kind of rounds up my top 5. I kind of had a cheat like you, Ahmed, had like a 2B. So AVAX, NEAR, Octopus, Metis, Rose, and Merhaba. They're the big ones for me to watch. You could do a lot wrong DCAing into other coins.